Hello and welcome to the webinar series conducted by Parul University. Today we have among us Mr. Subhashish Sarkar, Manager Quality Assurance from Sood Chemi India Private Limited. Sir has a vast experience in the field of quality assurance activity, which include assisting MR in the upkeep of QMS, EMS, and IMS. Sir has also an experience in the analytical method development, process troubleshooting, and routine analytical work. Sir has also had worked with SABIC Research as a research associate, where he was involved in the analytical development work, which includes the work on separation techniques, GC and HPLC. Sir has also worked with Perstock Chemicals India Private Limited as an assistant manager, quality assurance. Sir has also been awarded with the Lean Sigma Green Belt Gold Award, 21st Annual TQM Convention, and Silver Award in 21st Annual TQM Convention. Sir is also certified for the Quality Functional Deployment and Advanced Course on Basics of Patent Drafting, ISO 9001, Lead Auditor and Quality Certification. So on behalf of Parul Institute of Engineering and Technology Diploma Studies, Parul University, we welcome you, sir. Sir?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I'm stop presenting. You can present your slide.
Yeah. You all are able to see it?
Yes, sir. It's coming. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, all, and thank you, first of all, for providing me the opportunity to present a case at Parul University. And it was indeed an elaborate introduction by Prabha ma'am. So basically, just a bit about myself is that I am a postgraduate in chemistry. And for the last 17 years, I am into quality assurance in various functions as a team member across all levels. So basically, there I have learned a lot in all this 17 years. So the basic thing that I could come across, the basic function is a customer-centric approach in all our interactions. So that is probably the theme that I'm going to highlight today in my presentation also. So just bear with me for the next 1 hour for bringing out what a customer-centric approach really means. The topic is understanding the customer requirements objectively. So I will straight away jump into what do we mean by actual requirements? Requirements are basically a combination of a need, wants, and demands. Are you able to see the slide?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, it's a combination of needs, wants, and demands. So basically, what we need is a inherent deficiency, that is a need. Suppose I am hungry, I need food. So that is my food is my basic need. Now, if that need is backed up by a cultural upbringing, basically I am a Bengali, and I have been brought up in a house where rice is a staple food. So my want will be, for me, food will be a rice and some other dishes that I have been culturally brought up in. So basically, want is that thing, the need, which is been backed by some cultural background. So that is a want. And when when I have a want defined, and I have sufficient money in my pocket to buy something, so I translate the want into a demand. Basically, what I mean by demand is that suppose if I am having a rice, I think it's a variety of rice is a rice dish is a biryani. Suppose if I want to have a biryani at a certain place, at a certain hotel, so that becomes a demand. So that is the inherent difference between a need, want, and demand, which I will show in the next slide. So basically, needs are the basic needs. In the needs also, we all have learned about the Maslow's theory of needs. So the bottom, there is a pyramidal shape structure basically here, wherein the bottom most needs are the basic needs, which are the physiological needs. That is, as I said, food, shelter, clothing, education. Those are the basic needs. Now, if I go to a more refined need, so it will be a safety need. So I want to have a shelter which is earthquake proof. Basically, I want to have clothes that do not fade away, the color do not fade away. So basically, those are the safety needs of the basic needs. That is a more refined form of basic needs. Then comes after the basic needs comes the psychological needs. Psychological needs involves needs like self-recognition, a need for love, a need for getting a pat on the back. So basically, that is a psychological need. And once your psychological needs are also fulfilled, you go to a more refined variant of need, which is a self-actualization need or self-fulfillment need. Here, you always want to be a best version of yourself. So basically, it's a self-actualization need, which is at the top of the need hierarchy. That is the most refined need. Now, when that need is backed by culture and individual personality, that becomes the want. And when the want is backed by a buying power, that becomes the demand. So basically, a customer requirement may be a combination, maybe a simple need, but basically nowadays customer is always asking for demand. It's more of a demand because they demand, they know that some basic needs will always be met. Like for example, a phone may be a basic need, maybe giving a phone call or a SMS. But the demand will be for quite a different lot of things. Basically, the speed of the phone, the features of the phone, the slimness of the phone, the battery power of the phone. So those are various things. If I have the money buying power, so I can demand more and more of what I actually need. So that is a simple definition of needs, wants, and demands. I'll move on to the other thing. Now, when I am setting out to buy something, what are my objectives? My objectives are basically I am looking for something that is comfortable, that is convenient to use, that is from a status point of view. When I buy the thing, like for example, I buy certain car or certain phone, that becomes a status symbol. So I feel good about it. See, I can flaunt it. So basically, that is one of the buying objectives. There is also an objectives of economy. Some are price conscious. So basically, when I have an internet connectivity, I will look for a bigger broadband or a better broadband. So basically, economy comes into play there. So also health and safety. So if I am buying something, I will make it a point to look into the health and safety objectives of what I am actually purchasing. So these are the basic set of buying objectives. There may be more also, but these are the basic things that a customer has in mind while going out for buying something. So these buying objectives are now translated in the organization context. These are the business goals. And then they are drilled down to functional and activity specific goals. The overall objective of business goals, activity specific goals, and functional goals is to aim for customer satisfaction. Now, customer satisfaction till several years ago, so customer satisfaction was the end target. Now it is going beyond customer satisfaction, going beyond the obvious, aiming for customer delight. So basically, we are not looking at the things that only the customer will be satisfied for. We are also trying to enhance their buying experience, to enhance their expectations and causing them a customer delight so that they prolong the recurring purchase for your product. They maintain the demand for your product make you sustainable in business, and make you reach to new business heights. So those are the objectives from an organization point of view, why the customer satisfaction and customer delight is very essential for any business. Now I'm going to the main topic, that is customer requirement. Why customer requirement? What is customer requirement? As I said, requirement is a combination of needs, wants, and demands. So how does it translate into customer requirement for a particular product or service? So basically it is the specification or the characteristic of the goods or service as determined by the customer. So the major part of a customer requirement is that it has to be agreed. Until there is an agreement between the supplier and the customer, there will be always a mismatch of the customer requirement. So customer will be expecting something, you will be giving something, he will not be satisfied, he will come again with a complaint or an issue. So basically it will be resulting in a dissatisfied customer. So requirements are fundamentally to be agreed between the supplier and the customer, and they fall into several categories. One is, they can be a part specific requirement wherein dimensional things are there, material things are there, performance things are there. Some delivery requirements are there, they need the delivery at a particular mode, by air or by ship or by road. So basically those are there. So safety of the delivery, so they need the delivery to be damage free. There are some general requirements like insurance of the parts. So basically those things are also there. And some process requirements are there. Process requirements may include various things like maintaining a consistent quality of the process. So sometimes customers say that I need certain processes to be very robust. So from a manufacturer point of view, a process requirement should be very robust to meet the customer quality requirement. So those are the basically the customer requirements. All of these are actually referred to in many different forums as voice of customer. So voice of the customer may be a combination or a part of any of this. So everything qualifies as a voice of customer, broadly speaking. Now, there is one thing called customer requirements. There is another part which is called customer specific requirement. Now, customer specific requirement is at the beginning, Prabha ma'am told that there are several quality standards. So ISO 9000. So basically, there are some system-related requirements from the customer. So those system-related customers are called customer requirements. So those are also a part of broadly customer requirements. So customer requirements is actually the father. CSR is one of the sons of CR. So that in that way, so we have to check our product conformance with respect to both the customer requirement as well as the customer specific requirement. Aim is for the customer satisfaction, to enable proper product planning in order to have a customer view of agreed specification. Product specifications must be agreed, otherwise it will result in conflicts. So these are the need for a CR and CSR in the first place. So once we map, what comes next? So simple mapping and listing the customer requirements will not help any organization to achieve the customer satisfaction. Identification is important. Mapping the customer requirements, what the customer needs, listing down on a paper is okay. These are my needs of the customer. Once that is done, then how do I translate these customer requirements into actionable points, into a specification, into a shape wherein the organization can move towards achieving those objectives? Because simply placing the objectives and posting it in the notice board that these are my customer requirements will not help the organization to fulfill them. So the next step after identification of any customer requirements, all the customer requirements, is a deployment. So deployment here is referred to as quality function deployment. Quality function deployment is a tool, means it is a set of tools basically to effectively translate the customer requirements into detailed specifications, detailed action plans to produce the products. So it is a very old tool and it is used in Japan since 1960. It's a very old tool, but it is a very effective tool in a way. So here I have shown the input, process and output, basically the process flow. So here where the deployment comes from? The deployment comes in the process stage. The input is the customer requirement, customer specific requirement, other requirements. What are other requirements? Other requirements may be a legal requirement, maybe some resource requirement, means you need some installation support or something, means which is apart from the normal product delivery agreement. So you need some more hand holding type of requirements. So basically those are the other requirements. Now when those requirements are coming to our organization, what the organization does is that they prepare a QFD. They analyze it through a QFD. How can we achieve these customer requirements into actionable points, into actionable basically specifications, so that I can map whether my customer requirements are being met or they are being missed out. So this is a tool which is at in line with ISO 16355 2015 version. So this the output of this QFD is detailed specification, detailed product planning, and process improvement goals. The advantages and disadvantages of QFD. So I will not read out the entire advantages and disadvantages. Basically, if you are not having a QFD, there will be a ambiguity, and you will not be able to understand the customer requirements thoroughly. And then for old established products, you will always feel that, okay, my products are the best in the market, but are they really fulfilling the customer needs? This is a kind of a reality check that the organization does to ensure that whatever they are producing, or is that at all meeting the customer requirements. And if I am meeting it today, how are my other competition? How is the other technology doing? So this competitor analysis, perception of competitor analysis is very important. Otherwise, you miss out on a lot of market information. So if you do not have a QFD, so you are always at a risk of losing the customer, risk of getting behind the competition, risk of old process which is not performing to the expectation, lot of wastage. So basically those are the disadvantage and risk of not having a QFD. Now I am moving on to the 4 steps of QFD. So till now, what we have seen is the customer requirements. Customer requirements, a combination of needs, wants, and demands. So what are the customer requirements and the customer specific requirements? Why do we need to meet the customer specific requirements and customer requirements in the first place? Then the next part is how can we translate the customer requirements into tools? The name of the tool is quality function deployment. Now, quality function deployment, the tool has been developed in Japan, and 60 years of implementation already done. Means it is since 1960 it is there. So the 4 steps of QFD. Now coming to 4 steps of QFD, it is starting from a product planning. Once you plan for the product, the second stage is the product design. So the third stage after design, once you plan and design, the third stage is the process planning, how you are translating it into a mass production. So basically there comes the process planning. And once you are having a process planning, how you are doing the process control, that is the production process, how you are ensuring that the specifications are established, process control steps are established to make consistent product which meets the customer requirements. So basically in the product planning stage, initial input is the customer requirement. I will show that in the next slide. So basically, first is plan, the second is design, third is process planning, then fourth is process control. This is following a Deming cycle like plan, do, check, act. So basically, the first step is always the plan. The second step is the do. Do means the designing. Check means the process planning, and act means the production planning, that is process control. So basically this you can think of it as the PDCA cycle also. So this is a QFD deployment tool which is called House of Quality. Looks like a house, has a roof, has all 4 walls there. So basically this is the House of Quality. So House of Quality, in the first phase, if you go to the right hand side of the diagram, there are the 4 QFD stages listed out. The first stage is the product planning stage, wherein customer requirements is coming on the y-axis, and the design requirements are coming on the x-axis. So basically, there is a customer requirements are what the customer needs, and design requirements are how you are going to fulfill the customer needs. So this is in the product planning stage. Now in the second stage, the design requirements, whatever we have identified, they come on the y-axis. So this come in the y-axis, and the part design comes in the x-axis. So basically here you are now translating the design requirements into a design variables. What are the part design variables? So basically those are identified in the phase 2 of this process. The third phase includes the part design, which are now fixed from the phase 2 on the y-axis, and the manufacturing process variables on the x-axis. So basically there are several manufacturing process variables which can impact the part design. So those are coming on the phase 3 of the process. Now in the phase 4, the manufacturing process comes on the y-axis, wherein the build quality, that is the end specification process control step, comes on the x-axis. So these are the basically 4 steps from planning, doing, checking, and acting. So I will explain the house of quality, every part of the house of quality, because it's a very good tool to have. And if you at all build this tool at your own organization areas, so basically it will help a lot in understanding and translating the customer requirements into actionable plans. I'll start with the first. So basically this is the schematic, the same schematic. So I'm starting with what are the customer requirements. So I will start with the what's. So what are the customer requirements? What are the triggers for capturing customer requirements? Now the customer requirements you can have by interviews, by marketing meetings, by CSI, means customer satisfaction index. So basically it's an annual exercise that is done by various organizations under different names to check whether the customer is really satisfied, happy, or is there some issue. So basically those are there. There are several trade fairs. So business trade fairs are also a very good medium to capture the customer requirements, where customer directly walking into your stall and then they give you the feedback whether what they are actually looking for. Is there any improvement needed in your current process? They give a frank and honest feedback in most cases. There are also scientific community meetings and conferences. So basically those are also a good media for capturing the customer requirements. I'm giving an example of a industry that I'm working in. So basically this is related to an automotive catalytic converter. So catalytic converter is there for all vehicles, two-wheelers, four-wheelers. So they are there for all vehicles. So basically what the customer requires is that when I fit a catalytic converter after the engine, so before the exhaust pipe on the silencer muffler, basically what we call as silencer, so it should not generate a high back pressure, otherwise it will kill the acceleration. So one of the need is a low back pressure. Then there should be, the coating should not go off. So basically it's a catalyst. So the coating is being done on the part. So it has to have a good coating stability. Then conversion. By conversion means it should convert the pollutant. So basically catalytic converter function, basic function is to convert the harmful exhaust gases from the engine to a relatively harmless other gases. So basically they should have a good conversion margin. So now we are currently having all BS6 legislation. So BS6 legislations means BS6 certified emission norms are there. So for all the vehicles that we are currently purchasing, these are all BS6 compliant vehicles. So they have a defined range of all the 1 to 5 customer needs. Now I'm going to the next section, which is the rating. Importance rating is there on the thin blue bar beside the customer needs. So basically here I'm rating the importance on a scale of 1 to 5. So how the customer perceives their customer requirement in terms of the typical scale of 1 to 5. So engineering conversion is the maximum and enhanced catalyst life is maximum. So low price is the next concern. So basically these are the major things. The low back pressure may be relatively less important, although it is important. So once we have the what, means what the customer needs mapped, the next part is the how. The how we are going to meet the customer requirements. So basically, for those 5 requirements, the engineering requirements is that there should be a proper coating thickness of the catalyst. The addition of the catalyst should be good. It should be as low as possible. Baseline emission means basically these are the parameters how I am going to achieve the watts. So, and the cost of proposed solution should be low, and that there should be a durability. So now these are the house, and there is symbols on below the house which shows that what is the desired value. Coating thickness should be less, adhesion loss should be less, percentage from the baseline emission should be more, cost should be less, and if it is right on target, their durability should hit the target, then it is a X. So basically there is an inverted triangle and there is a normal triangle for increase, and there is a cross. So these are the symbols. You can have other set of symbols also as per your definition. So now we have mapped the needs and the how to achieve the needs. So once we have mapped this X and Y, the next part is the correlation. That is the roof of the house. So how these parameters, the hows are correlated. Basically, whether this parameter, coating thickness and adhesion loss, they are related to each other positively or negatively. Suppose if I go for increase in coating thickness, the cost increases. So basically, it's a negative. So means cost may be negative when the value of the product is getting increased, or in very rare cases the cost remains the same, it does not get affected. So if it is not affected, then there is a no symbol is there. There is also a highly positive in which it is deeply affected, this parameter is deeply affected by the other how. So this correlation map helps you to understand increase or change in any one of the engineering specifications, engineering requirement, how will that affect the other requirement. So this correlation matrix completes the roof of the house. Now once I am through with the roof of the house, then comes the main part, that is the relationship matrix at the center. Now relationship matrix here, it needs a lot of understanding of need and how they are correlated. Suppose there is a very strong correlation. For example, coating thickness is related to the back pressure. Higher the coating thickness, higher the back pressure. So basically it is strongly related. So basically here it's a 4-point scale. 0 is none, 1 is weak, 3 is medium, 9 is strong. So the parameters which are strongly related to each other are rated on a scale of 9. Whereas when we feel that the relationship is medium, so it is rated as 3. Whereas for weak relation, it is 1. And if there is absolutely no relation, so it's 0. So this way we are mapping the house with the watts. So there I have a matrix ready. Once this matrix is ready, then I do a weighted addition. So weighted addition means I have already the importance column in blue. So I am multiplying this with the relationship. So 9 multiplied by 3 is 27. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. 4 multiplied by 0 is 0. And 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. So if I add all of this, it comes to 59. So this is the weighted sum of all the house. So this gives me readily a picture of which is the most highest value of how, where I have to attack first. So this gives me a relatively good idea on which parameter needs the most focus in terms of drilling down. So here I in this case, percentage from the baseline emission, this parameter is actually rated the highest. So this is one of the most critical parameters in the catalyst design. So if I take a normalized weight means you are adding all of this and then normalizing it to 100%. So here I am seeing that 27% of the house refer to this particular parameter, that is percentage from the baseline emission. So here I need the first action. The next highest is the cost of proposed solution. So cost sensitive solution should be there. So that the durability is the next highest. So 24% is there. So durability is another factor that is important for a customer catalyst design point of view. So that is the second parameter. So this way I can rank the house. I hope that is clear. I'm moving on to the next section, which is the competitor analysis. So once this is mapped, now you know what your organization needs to focus on. The next part is to know how the competitors are faring in this. So the competitors, if they feel that this customer need is the most important, so they rate it on 5. If the customers feel, now how do I know what the customer feels? Now again, going back to the first scenario, how do I know how the market is faring? So there is a market information. There are several agencies who provide the market information surveys. There are competitor analysis, competitor product. You are bringing them to your own premises and then you are analyzing them. There are some customer feedbacks. There are some expert reviews. There are some trade experts who know the ins and outs of the competitor scenario. So basically, those are the sources from where you can have a view of where your customer is ranking the competitor is ranking the customer requirements. Why this map is necessary? This map is necessary to make sure that you are not exceedingly focusing on those things which are less important, but considering all your competitors are focusing there, it may be important. But if it is predominantly high or abnormally high, then that is a trigger for you to correct. So there is a 5-point rating here. So not important, least important, medium important, important, and most important. So basically this 5-point scale is there. So you can rank your competitors. So here I have taken the example of two competitors. That is competitor 1, competitor 2, and us means the organization from where it is belonging. So this first column compared to the other two columns, so that gives you a ready reference of where you are versus your competition in terms of the customer requirement. So this is about the what mapping you against the competitor. Now for mapping the house of the organization versus the competitor. So there, this now once you are finalizing the this relationship map, then the next point is identifying the specifications against each house. So how this is actually the trigger for the second stage of the QFD, which I told that once this design requirements are met, then this will come over here, and then the part design variables will be on the top. So basically, this specifications are the output of the relationship map. So once this is done, now you rate your organization against the competitor organization with respect to the variables. So just to go back to the that slide wherein the correlation I was explaining. Yeah, here. So once the design requirements are there, so design requirements will come over here, and the part design will come in the next stage. So part design variables will include the design specific. So for example, in our case, let us take one variable. So here, if I say that adhesion loss, basically it is less than 5%. So if adhesion loss, if I am targeting less than 5%, so what are the design variable which can result in a adhesion loss going below 5%? So those will be listed over here. So that again, there will be again a set of relationship, and you can draw out what are the variables that impact the adhesion loss. So you know to pinpoint the variables that affect the adhesion loss. So that helps you in identifying where you stand as a product specification and how tight it is with respect to your competitor. So this is the value of the house of quality. So once this is done in the second stage, now the next stage is the once this part design is fixed, the process variables will come on the y-axis. So once the process variables will come on the y-axis, this will be the suppose if it is a flow rate or it's some viscosity or it is some pH adjustment. So basically those parameters which are impacting the adhesion loss. So basically those will be identified and those will be finalized. And ultimately the process control will be to maintain it within a certain tight specification. So this is how you can translate a basic customer need into a actionable item, actionable points and specifications. So this on the conclusion, I would like to say that the mapping of the customer requirements and deployment actions is critical for any business processes. Now, QFD is one of the tools to effectively define the customer requirements, convert them into specification and plans. The 4 stages of QFD is very important. I am going back to that. First is the planning, product planning, that is plan. The second is product design. Third is the process planning, and the fourth is the process control. This is plan, do, check, act. Basically, these 4 steps, if you remember that way, there is also okay. The most critical step is to understand the voice of customer. VOC means voice of customer. So voice of customer, if it is improperly translated, customer needs, if you are leaving it out, wants, if you are leaving it out, then it can result in a disastrous analysis. Because here, ultimately, in this scenario, if the starting is wrong, you will end up with erroneous conclusions in the 4th stage, that is the process control. You will be focusing, either over focusing on certain points, or you will miss out on focusing on some critical parameters which are resulting in improper product, improper service to the customer. Ultimately, it will result in a dissatisfied and loss of business, dissatisfied customer, and maybe a loss of business. So that is there, and competitor analysis accuracy can help you to benchmark your product better in a better fashion. So that is all I have to present for today. I would request Prabha ma'am to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Subhasis. And it was a wonderful session. I think I haven't received any questions today. So I think the concept is clear to everyone. So on behalf of Parul Institute of Engineering and Technology, Diploma Studies, Parul University, thank you for giving such a wonderful session on the objectives of understanding the customer requirement. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
Good day.